Cushion fans. You are not going to believe what we got going on, man. Hopefully this, Billy Hutchinson and On the Cushion with ML Motorsports, we're trying to get all the I's dotted and T's crossed to make this a weekly episode, so the name's going to change. But Josh, can you believe what we're doing today with ML Motorsports?
I can't believe it either. It's pretty big.
It is pretty big news. I cannot wait to get this show going and get it out there. But man, we got Billy Hutchinson in the studio with us here. Billy, what's up, man?
Not a whole lot, man. Just working hard at it.
You and I's been working on this for a while now, trying to make this happen, and we're finally getting it there. We still got a few more issues that we need to take care of to turn this into a weekly series, man. But what do you think about this On the Cushion and ML Motorsports putting together these weekly podcast episodes?
Oh, I think it's just a great idea. Like you and I talked before. Anything we can do to to get the information out there to the fans about what's going on, and just keep them updated. It's a great thing. So all the way around, I think it's a good thing for ML Motorsports, for Johanna, for you guys, and we're looking really forward to it.
I can't wait. Part of the deal with this, as we've talked, Billy, is Johanna and Mark, Mr. Mark G, as I'm calling him now.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah. So Johanna and Mark are going to be a weekly staple to this show that we're doing. But I think it's really important. Billy, I'm going to let you tell them. Why don't you tell the fans what we got created, what we're thinking about for this third slot in this show every week with the crew?
Well, I'd like to get different people on our team, different positions, so to speak. Give them the opportunity to get on and just give the fans an idea of what their role is and what their job is, and whether it's hanging a tire or jacking the car or whatever, putting the fuel in. So a lot of people they see the pit stops on TV. They don't know what it takes for these guys to get prepared for it, and our president Ed Mullen, he's kind of the backbone of this organization and has a lot of history, a lot of knowledge from when this team started out. So a lot of fans out there don't realize, exactly where we came from and how we got started. So I think it's a great opportunity, each week to just spread the word out there. And of course, if anybody ever has any questions or want to know anything, they can always touch base with you or us, and we can try to get it answered.
That is for sure, man. I can't wait. We're going to learn the inside out of ML Motorsports. We're going to learn what these guys do on their off time, guys and gals do on their off time. We're going to get to know ML Motorsports up close and personal with this, and I'm totally excited about it. All right, we're going to get out of here and get this show started. We're going to take a short break here, get back here, get this show started, and we're going to fire off on all cylinders. What do you think, Josh and Billy?
Sounds good to me.
All right, we're going to get at it.
Works for me, too.
All right, here we go. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back here in a minute, folks.
Hey, y'all, this is Dan Smith from On the Cushion. I'm here today to tell you about Dasco Race Fabrication and Supply in Brownstown, Indiana. Dasco Race Fabrication provides fabrication of race car parts for modifieds, bombers, and street stocks. Dasco is also a supplier for their own exclusive axle slug gear oil control product. Man, that Donnie Fleetwood, he knows the racing industry inside and out. Services racers from across the country with the most competitive pricing and for quality racing products. Give Dasco Race Fabrication and Supply for all your racing needs a call at 812-358-3535. Again, that number is 812-358-3535. They ship anywhere in the United States UPS. Let them know that On the Cushion sent you.
All right, On the Cushion fans, here we go. Josh, man, what do you think? We got this special segment with ML Motorsports this week. We got Johanna Long and Mr. Mark G, the crew chief, and this guy we got on the phone now. I'm not so sure about him, my man, but what are you thinking about this ML Motorsports special?
I know. It seems like it's going to be a really great special for this week.
I think it will be, my man. All right, let's get right into the meat and potatoes of this stuff. We got Mr. Ed Mullen, Vice President of ML Motorsports, on the phone with us. What are you up to today, Mr. Ed?
Oh, we're just having some meetings here at the shop, and been a quiet day. It's a good day because we're able to get a lot done. We have an off weekend. Cup's in Michigan this weekend, and we're running next week at Bristol, and we're going to see you down there, Dan. So looking forward to that and getting together with Johanna.
Yeah, we are. We're going to, On the Cushion's going to be there with ML Motorsports. We're going to be staying with the team at the hotel, traveling with the team. Basically, we're going to just be in your guys' hair and causing a lot of problems for you, I think.
Sounds like a lot of fun to me.
It does. It sounds like a lot of fun. Hey, Ed. Um, First of all, let's let people know your official title at ML Motorsports. I believe it's Vice President, but why don't you tell us what your official title is, what you do, and how many years you've been there?
We started this team in 1998. Mary Louise and Dane, who are the owners, Mary Louise being the primary owner and Dane backing her through all the years. Basically, it came down to they were sponsoring a team down in Fernandina Beach, Florida, and I was talking to them about doing something on their own, and whether it be with a show car or doing something up north, and being a little more local where they can have more hands-on. So I guess I'm the creator of all this craziness we've got going on here, and I take pride in that. And it's amazing the amount of support and what they've done, the owners, Dana and Mary Louise, to keep this thing going and for a long time. I mean, to last this long on the level of racing we've been doing, this is I think pretty amazing.
Wait, going into what you just touched on there, Ed, I do have a major question for you here. In the social media world, it's out there that, if Johanna was in this car or that car, she'd be getting better finishes. And there's a major misconception that this ML Motorsports team is underfunded in second-rate equipment, and that's just not the case. You guys have set goals and expectations for this year, and you're exceeding them every week. But every race that you go to on this limited schedule, you guys are fully funded. Is there anything you want to say about that and get it out there to people to try to clear this up a little bit?
Well, first and foremost, we're tied in with RCR. We use their engines. Previous to that, we were tied with Kevin Harvick and their team, and when their team decided to move it all into Childress, we went with them. And so we've always had a really good relationship with North Carolina and especially RCR. We have, I think, some of the best engines out there. I think it's proven week in and week out that RCR equipment is fantastic. We have a good crew up here, guys who work really hard and work hard to keep that relationship going. We've got a driver who is getting more experience every week and has a lot of talent. I think a boatload of talent. Mm-hmm. And I think the two are going to mesh as time goes on even better. I think it's been to everyone's expectations so far this year. Johanna's gotten a lot of laps, and we've gotten a lot of time to work with her. And it's not a full year. So when we do go to the race, every race we go to, we make sure that we can give it the best we can do. And if we spaced it out over the course of the entire year, yes, I would say that might be true if we tried to run every race, and maybe that would limit us a little bit. But when we do pick to choose to go to, I think we go there fully loaded.
Well, and I agree with that 100%. And I guess the big thing in talking to Mark today, Johanna's not out there tearing the equipment up. She's finishing within the goals and expectations that the team has set for her. But the big thing is you guys aren't tearing up a lot of stuff this year. I know you've had issues, drive shaft breaking, the wreck after the finish at Daytona that she should have won, by the way. If she'd have got some help, that race was hers. But that's another story for another day. But the big thing is she's out there, she's not tearing stuff up, and I know that's important to you guys. How does that fit in with the race schedule, and will that lend to maybe another race being thrown on the schedule, saving that some of those funds?
That could possibly happen. We're always open to discussions. Our schedule's generally not set in stone. It's a schedule that we put together a couple of years back with another driver we had, Shelby Howard, and we've just kind of been comfortable with that since. And with Johanna, she's given some good feedback into some places that she would like to go and that she feels comfortable at. And so we're always looking to be flexible with the schedule. And if we got a sponsor that's going to call us to a place like Dover or somewhere that we haven't been to, we're going to make every effort to try and get there.
All righty. Go ahead, Ed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're definitely open to a lot on that schedule. We have a lot of flexibility. Gives us plenty of time between races for us to to make sure that we've got everything properly prepared. But when it comes to picking up more races, I think it's something that we could definitely do.
Okay, you led into something there, and I know my partner over here, Mr. Josh Bolden's got some questions for you about something you hinted at there with the Shelby Howard era and the Brian Ross era. Josh, you got some questions for Ed here?
Yeah, actually I do. When you became a full-time ARCA operation in 2000, what was sort of the things that decided to start pursuing full-time in ARCA and then eventually in the NASCAR?
Well, the ARCA series was a great series for us. It was a real nice beginning. At the time, it was probably a bigger series than we needed to get into at the time. It was something that we put together over the summer of 1998, and we went to Daytona '99, and we went down there. In our first race, we qualified 12th with Jimmy Kitchens in the car. And then we followed that up with going to Atlanta and qualifying 3rd. So right out of the box, and literally, out of the box, I think most of our tools were in boxes. We unloaded and ran pretty well there. But we had a lot of help early on from Red Farmer. I think a lot of people out there would know who Red Farmer is. He's a legendary dirt track racer, and NASCAR voted one of NASCAR's top 50 greatest drivers of all time. And we've just had a long relationship with Red. We've never missed a Daytona with Red. He backed off from our normal schedule for a while, going to every race because his racing started picking up, and he just decided that he wasn't ready to retire. And so he's back full-time racing now at his local Talladega dirt track. And he was instrumental early on. We had Bobby Allison that helped us. He went to the first race with us. So we had some NASCAR legends there to help us right away. And we just really enjoyed the opportunity to be associated with people like that, and we just got off to a really good start in ARCA, and we started having success. We won the first race at Kansas Speedway, and had an ARCA weekend there, and we came back and won another trophy there in ARCA. We won the guitar down in Nashville, and a few other races with Chad Blunt and Jason Jarrett, son of Dale Jarrett, all good guys, all good racers, and we just felt like we had good people and wanted to pursue it.
I noticed another thing you alluded to was the fact that you do have a good relationship with the folks in North Carolina, but does it also make it difficult being an Indiana-based team to run a NASCAR operation, considering most of the operations are in North Carolina?
Yeah, I think there's some definite disadvantages. But there's also some ways to work around that. We've got a good relationship down at RCR, and we can call them with just about anything. They're going to give us help. They send really good people to the track with us. So we also have people tied to the motor program that come with us to the track, and so we'll see those guys every race weekend, and we see a lot of people at the racetrack who can help fill in some areas for us, and it is a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to if you have some work done, some major work that you need done on a car, shipping it down there to have chassis work done or put a new clip on, anything like that is a bit of a hindrance, but we've managed to do it for this long and hung in there with it pretty well. So I would say we've handled it all pretty well. And one thing about it, we don't have guys flipping jobs right after lunch and moving across to a different shop. We've had the same guys in this shop since we started.
I think that's a big deal with ML Motorsports and the continuity of people that you've had and been able to keep being based here in Indiana. It really gives it that grassroots feel, where you guys first started out at and to where you're at now. Even though you're at the NASCAR level, you still have that local grassroots feel around the shop, and I gather that with talking to all you guys there. Is that kind of a feeling that you have there, a real close-knit family, grassroots effort?
Oh, I absolutely feel that when we walk in the shop and see each other, it's a familiarity, and we've had a lot of years of ups and downs, and so having gone through a lot of different things, it's I think definitely brought us all closer together.
All right, Ed. Unfortunately, we're about out of time for this week's segment for you. We could talk all day long. I know we could,
Would love
but
to.
I know Josh has probably got a lot more questions for you and everything. But we're going to have to get out of here this week, and maybe we can catch up with you next week and continue on with this conversation in a part two type episode thing. So I look forward to meeting up with you guys in Bristol next week, and talking to you again on next Monday if you're all right with that. And
Sounds great.
we'll see what's going on. So there you have it, everybody. Mr. Josh Bolden, co-host on the cushion, and Mr. Ed Mullins, vice president of ML Motorsports. So we'll get back to you after this short break. Catch you all here in a minute.
Hey everybody, this is Dan Smith from On the Cushion Radio. I'm here today to tell you about our buddies at Bowman Auto Group in Seymour, Indiana, the official auto supplier of On the Cushion Media Group. Located at 1873 East Tipton Street in Seymour, Indiana, Brian Bowman Auto Group, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Man, if you all need a car, you need to get in there and see our buddy Brian. Let them know On the Cushion sent you, and they'll give you a nice little discount. Their number is 877-818-0231. 877-818-0231, and be sure to let them know On the Cushion sent you.
All right, On the Cushion fans, as promised, man, this special edition here that Mr. Billy Hutchison at ML Motorsports has put together for On the Cushion, I am totally excited about. We're going to be speaking to all these people on a weekly basis, but man, I've got somebody here on the phone with me that's just doing amazing things this year with the driver and the team, and that's crew chief, Mr. Mark G. What are you up to today?
Just hanging out, working on race cars as always.
We're going to tell people why I can't say your last name.
It's very German and very long.
Yeah. What is your last name, Mark?
It's Gutekunst.
Gutekunst. See, I got it. I got it right, but you know damn well that I would have got it wrong. If I'd have tried to say it. All right, man. Hey, you had a couple weeks off here. What have you been up to over this last couple weeks?
Oh, I mean, we got a smaller staff here, and we've been stacking up cars that we race. We race a different car pretty much every race. We cycle them in and out. We've just been taking care of all our vehicle maintenance and giving everything back in order, getting a couple races ahead as far as setup goes, and everything comes back. It needs repainted, re-greased, re-cleaned, everything, top to bottom.
All right, how long you been with? I guess we need to go back to basics here and introduce you to the fans and the crowd and everything. What we're doing here, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But how long have you been with ML Motorsports, Mark?
I've been here for almost 4 years now.
4 years. Got some tenure in there, then, huh?
A little bit. There's guys that have been here 3 times longer than me. So.
What's your favorite part about ML? What's some of the positive things that's going on there that keeps you there?
Oh, I just love where we work. I mean, the big thing is our owners take such good care of us. How could anybody ever want to leave? I mean, as far as getting us all the parts we need, to taking care of us for doing a good job. And I mean, it's a smaller place. It's not as competitive as Charlotte because there's not 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 guys fighting for your job every day. Everybody gets along. It's a lot more fun, a lot more laid back working atmosphere. But like I said, with what the owners provide us, we can still do it just as right as anybody else out there.
I think that's a major misconception out there, Mark. I talked to Johanna a little bit about it, and Billy and I talked a little bit about it. But, there's a major misconception out there that you guys are a majorly underfunded team with, unsuperior equipment, and that's just not the case at all. The races you guys are running are fully funded. You've got good equipment. You've got the parts and pieces that you need, and if you don't, Mary Louise is very good about getting them for you. Do you see that stuff out there circulating around on the internet, and does it kind of bother you any at all that people have that misconception about the team?
I don't troll around that stuff too much. I hear it here and there from every now and again around the garage and read an article here and there. And I don't know where it comes from, but I mean, it's definitely not true, like you said. I mean, we got top of the line stuff here, and it's a great place to be for any driver or a crew member.
You guys are setting goals and stuff this year, and you guys are meeting your goals and expectations, it sounds like. The top 15s. The big thing that you alluded to there in the very beginning, where you're just having to do basic maintenance and cleanup on the cars. You guys aren't tearing equipment up this year, and that goes back to the driver you got out there, I think. But has that surprised you a little bit in her rookie season?
I don't know about surprised me. It's relieving though. I mean, we've done a great job. We haven't had to send anything down south to have it fixed. Anytime a body gets wrecked, that's something we can't do in house, or a frame gets wrecked. But pretty much everything else we can do here, and we've been able to take care of just about everything up here. It's been pretty good in that respect.
Very good, very good. All right, let's talk about. There's a question that's been on my mind for a couple weeks now, and leading up to knowing that we was going to start this deal with ML. I want to ask you, how many years have you been in NASCAR doing setup on these cars and things?
As me being in charge as a crew chief, only 2. But ever since I started working on race cars, I've always been very technical and trying to keep up on whatever's going along. I guess even starting at the late model level, you could say I was a car chief there. I've always been involved with what was going on.
What's the differences? Are you finding that you and Johanna are gelling pretty good as far as what you would consider a basic setup to put on the car in the shop, and then when you get to the track, are you finding that you're having to do a lot of changes, or are you guys pretty much on the same page?
Well, we have to make some adjustments for Johanna. I think the biggest thing was learning how she communicates and learning what she really needs. As far as changing setups from last year to this year or driver to driver, you just kind of evolve your setups with as trying to keep up with the big guys.
Right.
They're going to change their setup completely from one year to the next when they learn something newer with the cars, and we've done a really good job at keeping on par with the new shock parts that come out and the newer styles that the guys are running the setups. Everybody gets more aggressive every year because they find another ounce of speed in them, and we've done a good job of keeping up with that, and that's probably been the biggest reason for anything as far as changing a setup from last year. We had David Stremme and Scott Limmer, who were very good drivers, and they give you a really good baseline, but what we run this year is completely different than that, just off of technology advancements, really.
What you speak of technology advancements, where are you finding most of those advancements at nowadays? Is it in the shock and spring packages, and is that the secret nowadays with these cars?
Well, I don't know if it's really a secret. It's just something you don't really realize unless you step back and look. The competition is so tight. If you can find just a hair of speed, it's going to put you ahead of 5 more guys or so. So you're looking for anything, anywhere, and it's just getting the whole entire package together is what the hard part is. So to answer your question, shock, springs, bodies, chassis, everything, we're always trying to make something just that little bit better, because if you can do it, you're going to really move yourself up fast.
All righty. Hey, I think we've talked enough about the racing and the technicalities and stuff. I think we need to talk about some fun stuff. What do you think?
Good with that.
All right. What's Mr. Mark do to wind down away from the shop and away from the track?
To wind down, lately I've been planning my wedding with my fiancée April, who's actually a tire specialist. That's been eating up a lot of time, but it's been fun, so that's been good. Other than that, just hanging out and going out to dinner and drinking some beers here and there, just having a good time, trying to enjoy life.
Well, that don't sound like a bad life to have.
No,
getting married, huh?
Yes, sir.
Now we've had these talks about marriage, right?
Pretty much everybody under the sun, all the crew guys, everybody.
I bet the guys out in the shops giving you a hard time, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, at least she's into racing, so
Yeah, that helps.
that helps a bunch. All right, man. Hey, we got Bristol coming up here. What do there's been some talk that things have been done to the track to change some things and things like that. I know in talking to Johanna, she was a little bit, she's thinking about some of these changes and what's going to be different there. As a crew chief, what are you looking at compared to what you've heard they've done to the track versus setups, and what are you thinking going into this next race there?
I haven't heard an exact report of where they actually ground the track. They ground the top lane down to try and take away all the grip because everybody was running so high. And the way we ran our race in the spring, I don't think it's going to affect us too much. Obviously, some other guys were setting up for the benefits of being able to use that area. We weren't really doing that. We're just looking to go back with just a balanced race car and learn it just like everybody else. And it's going to be, instead of having a 3-4 lane track, maybe 2.5 lane track. So it won't change too much, but there might be some different problems fighting without being able to come off the way high side like some of the Cup guys are able to do.
Right. I'm pretty excited about coming down there and catching up with you guys and getting some of this ML Motorsports stuff we got going down there. It's going to be a good time down there next week for sure.
Definitely.
What do you got going on? You off this weekend? You got anything special going on this weekend? Relax before you guys hit the grind again?
Just some wedding stuff. My parents are coming to town. They're all from Wisconsin, where I'm originally from, and they're coming down to Indiana to visit. Just family stuff, hanging out and having a good time.
When you getting married, Mark?
September 29th.
September 29th. There you had it, heard it, folks, man. We'll try to get out a mark in April where they've registered at, and you guys can send them some gifts. I'm sure that they're going to need something.
You don't need gifts. Just come hang out and have a beer with us.
Come out and hang out and have beer. Man, I love you Wisconsin guys, man. Yeah, it's all about the beer and the cheese, isn't it?
Yeah, we get labeled for our cheese, too.
That's not necessarily such a bad thing. All right, Mark, we're going to get out of here, man. Anything, any special messages you want to give to anybody or to the fans out there? Any special statements? Or sorry to put you on the spot like that. We didn't talk about this, but
no, just anybody that's out there and listening, we appreciate your support, and we're going to do the best we can for you up and coming weekends here.
Yeah, we'll get on it, man. We'll get on it. So, all right, there you heard it from. I'm still going to call him Mark G, Mr. Mark G, crew chief of the number 70 Nationwide Series. I guess I just cannot wait. I can't wait to get down there to Bristol to meet you guys next week. I really can't. So. But I think it's going to be a good time, man. I had a good time with Billy and Indy, so I think it's going to be a good time down there. So take care of yourself, get that wedding planned, and try not to let them guys in the shop give you too hard of a time about that.
Yeah. 10-4.
All right, we'll see you later, Mark.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey y'all, this is Dan Smith from On the Cushion Radio here today to tell you about Raceaholic Racewear. Man, they are the official outfitters of On the Cushion Media Group. They're the ones that make our fat, old, bald, ugly butts look so good in front of these cameras and on this radio. You need to get to www.raceaholic.net and check out the cool swag they got. Once again, that's www.raceaholic.net. Get over there, order you some swag, let them know On the Cushion sent you.
All right, On the Cushion fans, my favorite time of the week, man. We're a day late and a week late on this episode of our weekly chat with ML Motorsport driver, Miss Johanna Long. How you doing this evening, Miss Johanna?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm hungry, man. I'm hearing you're getting ready to go get something to eat.
I am. I am starving. So we're headed there now.
What do we eat tonight?
I'm going to start with eating healthy. You know, I'm on this diet now that I can't have no bread, no nothing. So I don't think I'm going to like dinner too much tonight.
What's on the menu tonight?
I don't know where we're going yet. Probably some grilled chicken and some vegetables. That's what it's sounding like.
I tried to do that no-carb diet once where I'd go to Burger King and or wherever and order a chicken sandwich or a hamburger and throw the bread away and just eat the meat. It only lasted about 5 seconds, though.
Yeah, hopefully it lasts a little bit longer for me.
All right, the last race out, Johanna, was at Iowa, and you guys had a pretty decent run out there. So what happened out there, and that was your second time there. So what'd you think about that run?
It was a really good run for us. You know, we ended first practice, actually really happy with the car, and we started second practice, and it handled okay, but not as good as first practice. So we were struggling a little bit, but once we started qualifying and we started the race, our car came to us, and it was extremely good. My crew chief, Mark Gutekunst, definitely made some awesome calls throughout the whole race and kept us on the lead lap all night long. So we came home with a 13th place finish, which was really good for our Ford Travel Motorcoach Chevrolet. And I'm just happy for all the guys at ML Motorsports. They work so hard, and finally we're getting some finishes that we deserve.
Now, you know, I'll tell you what, Johanna, there's, you know, in the social media world, there's a lot of people out there that like to compare you to some of the other drivers and say if you was in their car that those cars would be finishing better and things like that. You know, and I know Billy and some of your people, we've talked about this, and man, you guys have set goals this year at ML Motorsports, and you guys are meeting or exceeding those goals on a weekly basis. Does that ever kind of bother you a little bit, some of the things people say out there in the social media world?
You can't help what people say. You know, you can't get caught up in what people say about you or what they think about you. You just have to focus on yourself and your team and worry about focusing on those goals you set each week and go after it. You can't worry about what other people say. If you do, you're gonna mess up and not achieve what you want to achieve with your team.
Boy, I'll tell you what, you amaze me every time we talk and every time we do one of these interviews. You just, I try to throw you off and throw these questions out to you, and you answer them like a true racer and the professional that you are, and you impress me every time we talk, Johanna. I agree with you 100%. You can't control what people are going to say or do, but I think it's really important for the people out there to know that you guys are meeting and exceeding the goals that you're setting for yourself every week, and it's pretty impressive what you guys are doing.
Yeah, for sure.
With that being said, we got some special thing coming up next week. At Bristol. Gutekunst's going to be there with ML Motorsports and you, and we're going to do some things. But what are you thinking about going into next week at Bristol?
I'm excited to go back to Bristol. Me and Bristol have some unfinished business for sure. Last time we didn't get the run we wanted for sure. We definitely did not run as well as we wanted to or thought we were going to. But I feel like our car is going to be a lot better this time, and I feel like I'm a lot better driver since the first time that I was there. So we have a lot of momentum, and I'm really looking forward to going there and having another good run.
Now, supposedly there's been some track changes since the last time you've been there, that they've done some work to the track, and nobody's really clear on exactly what they've done or what they haven't done to the track. Has any of that entered your mind heading back there again?
It's definitely entered my mind. You wonder what it's going to be like. You only get 2 hours and 30 minutes of practice, and you get one practice to do it in, so you don't get no break. And it's just going to be about finding out the differences and how you can drive it. So we just got to get there and see what it's all about, and hopefully it'll work out in our favor.
Well, I'll tell you what, that kind of takes you back to your short track days, don't it? Running down here at Pensacola and in the snowball and things like that, where you got very short practice time and then qualify and run the race. Does that kind of excite you a little bit, that kind of race format?
Not really.
Not really?
Not really. Just going to these different racetracks so that I don't get a race on every weekend, and I don't get a lot of experience on these tracks, and it's good for me to get as much track time as possible, and for me to work with Mark and the whole crew, and more time on the track is better. So it'll be okay. We get 2 hours and 50 minutes of practice to figure it out, and the whole race to make some good changes on the car. And I have a lot of confidence going in there. We just got to make it happen.
All right, man. I'm looking forward to showing up there with you. I think, have we talked enough racing now? Is it time to do the fun parts of these interviews? What do you think about that?
Yeah, that sounds good. Racing's fun too.
Well, I think we all know that. We all love the racing, but
yeah.
These are the parts I like, and I think this is the part of the interviews the fans really like. You've got a couple weeks off here. You've been able to do some really cool things. You were back down home in Pensacola the other day and got to do something really cool. You want to tell people out there what you got to do?
Yeah, last week I actually got to go home, and they have this new stadium, and they're called the Blue Wahoos, and it's a baseball team, and I got to go there and throw the first pitch, and it meant a lot to me. Pensacola has definitely followed my career, and for me to throw the first pitch at that awesome stadium meant a lot to me, and it was just a really cool thing. I've never done anything like that, and I practiced for about an hour trying to throw the ball. So I made it to the plate, which was extremely good for me. I was a little worried because there were so many people there. I didn't want to embarrass myself.
Your PR department, and I'm going to go ahead and call your PR department out. Haley, she posted some very good pictures on the Johanna Long fan page on Facebook, and you could see the excitement and the smile on your face about being there doing that. And then once you put that Blue Wahoo uniform on, there was a little bit of look of worry on your face. So is that when it started setting in that you were going to have to throw that ball?
No, they were actually, it really got me teary-eyed a little bit. I was going on the golf cart, and they were showing the Derby win on the big screen, and the sound bites of the Derby, and it was awesome, just to look back at all the accomplishments and what the owner of the Blue Wahoo Stadium was saying. It was just a really cool thing just to be a part of, and for them to want me to throw the first pitch at that stadium just meant a lot to me. That's
totally cool. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. You're getting ready to go on a vacation, you was telling me, this week. So, where does Miss Johanna Long go vacation?
Well, I don't get much vacation for sure. Usually it's just going back home. But this weekend I'm going to New York to hang out with my sister and have a good time. And so we got another weekend off, which is driving me crazy because I'm ready to get back in the seat, but just got to keep my mind occupied because I don't like being away from the racetrack.
What kind of cool things you guys got lined up? What are you going to do while you're up there in New York?
We don't know. We're just going up there. We'll just see what it's all about. We're most likely shopping. You know, there's a lot of good shopping up there. We'll probably spend a lot of money on some clothes.
Sounds like you better leave the Visa cards at home.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
All right, Johanna. I've kept you tied up here. I know you're trying to get something to eat, and I appreciate you doing these interviews every week with us. And I absolutely cannot wait to get to Bristol next week and finally meet you and Haley in person and get some footage of you. And I'm totally looking forward to this year's Snowball. We're going to be doing some very cool things with you there. So other than that, man, you have a safe trip to New York. Enjoy yourself, and don't spend too much money while you're up there.
Yeah, for sure. And thanks for having me.
Hey, not a problem. We'll talk to you later, Johanna. All right, Josh, man, that was freaking awesome, man. Can you believe the information we just got and how much fun this ML Motorsports segment's going to be every week?
I think it's going to be a really great segment. They seem to be a great bunch of guys and great team.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be pretty cool getting to know this ML Motorsports team inside and out and hanging out with them at the tracks and everything. What are you looking forward to in all this, Josh? What's major things you're looking forward to with this?
I'm just really looking forward to seeing how well they operate and just sort of the inner workings of their organization.
Now you hear that, folks out there? That's our stat guy, Josh Bolden, man. He's all worried about the nuts and bolts of the situation. Here I am all excited to learn what these guys do, what kind of beer they drink, and what they cook on their grills. Man, that tells you what kind of racer Mr. Josh Bolden is. All right, man, we're going to get out of here, and we'll be back next week with another episode, maybe a new name for the ML Motorsports Show. So, all right, with all that, we'll catch you all later. See you later, Josh.
See you.